It's official. We have pricing on the 2026 Toyota RAV4 plug-in hybrid, formerly known as the Prime. Now, the normal hybrid models, we've had pricing on them for quite some time. We're starting to see deliveries as well on the new RAV4s too. But many people, and myself included, were really worried about the pricing of the new RAV4. Typically, Toyota will update pricing on their main press room on their website. They'll have an article right here. If you look at the CHR, for example, all right, they'll have pricing on it with its own little article attached to it. So that's what I was waiting for. But what actually happened was this right here. You see this full line pricing guide? Well, Toyota just updated it, and it has the pricing of the new RAV4 plug-in hybrid. And let me tell you, it's way better. The pricing is way better and lower than what I thought it was going to be. So this is going to be a real thorn in the side, not only to its competition, which what is the RAV4's competition? Is it a Model Y sort of thing? We'll get into that. We'll compare it not only to the normal hybrid pricing, but also to some of its competition within the Toyota lineup and outside the Toyota lineup. So if you guys are excited, hit that like button, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, my name's Kirk. I cover automotive news quite often, but to be honest, I have a little bit more of a history and focus based on Asian automakers. So if you guys like to have a little bit more focus on Japanese cars, Korean cars, this is a channel. No one else does it like I do, covering car reviews as well as car news just about every single day. Here we have the pricing. And you know, pricing in a bubble is one thing, but I'm going to explain why these prices are so impressive. So the plug-in hybrid SE is $41,500. RAV4 Woodland plug-in hybrid is $45,000. The XSE is $47,200, and the GR Sport is only $48,500. I'm blown away by this pricing. This is going to be a real problem for the competition. And here's why. Okay, I have a spreadsheet here. And a few weeks ago, we had confirmation from the Japanese market on the pricing of the RAV4 plug-in hybrid because it launched there first a couple of weeks ago. All right, and their yen price for their XSE equivalent, which is their Z grade, all right, if you convert it straight to US dollars, it's $38,000, okay? But because of how the normal RAV4 is priced in Japan versus what it's priced here, there's a delta even after conversion. After you convert it from yen to US dollars, the price of the RAV4 hybrid in the United States is 37% more expensive than the equivalent price in Japan. Okay, so there's a big price jump. So I'm like, okay, it would be logical to assume that the RAV4 plug-in hybrid will also get a 37% increase from its Japanese yen conversion. So when I went from straight to US dollars from yen, it's $38,000. No. But you got to add the 37% increase as well from our market to their market. And so I was expecting the XSE model plug-in to start at $53,000. But what happened is they actually announced the price almost $6,000 less than what I was expecting it to be. And this makes a lot of sense, especially when you zoom out and you have to expect, well, I expect, because I've heard from dealers that the Lexus NX, for example, is getting a massive refresh at the end of this year as for 2027 model, and it's going fully hybrid just like the RAV4, and it will have the plug-in hybrid powertrain as well. But how I was expecting these things to be priced, I'm like, these things are just going to be so expensive versus an NX plug-in hybrid. All right, with these sort of prices, I'm like, the NX plug-in hybrid is going to be $70,000, which it could. I'm not saying it won't, but this gives breathing room for the Lexus plug-in hybrid variants, all right, with how low these are priced. So we look at the GR Sport as well. It's $7,000 less than what I was expecting it to be, all right? And so what we have here is not only lower prices than what I was expecting by a landslide, $5,000 to $7,000. We have actually a reduction in price versus this new RAV4 plug-in hybrid, the 26 model, versus the outgoing 2025 models. In a world where everything's getting more expensive, how did Toyota pull this off? Well, they might not be making a lot of money here. They might be doing this more as a market share thing. I don't know 100%. Or maybe the economies of scale have grown so much for hybrid and plug-in hybrid that they can price this very aggressively. It's hard to say. All right, but here's the mind blower. Your price of entry to get into a plug-in hybrid RAV4 year over year, generation to generation, has just gone down $3,300. So if we look at the SE model, the former SE model, guys, only had about 40 miles of range. The new one has 52 miles of range. Okay, so you get more range. You also get more horsepower. You now have almost 330 horsepower, something like that, on the new RAV4. So you get an all-new generation of hybrid, meaning a smoother operating plug-in hybrid, a more powerful hybrid, also a more efficient hybrid when the battery is depleted after your 50 plus miles of range. And it's cheaper, and you have newer tech. All right, so this is incredible how aggressive Toyota is being here on the pricing. And look, the XSE model has even gone down about $1,500 year over year. So absolutely mind-blowing that Toyota is being this aggressive with the pricing. Again, there's another metric here that I want you guys to take a look at. The equivalent to the Japanese market, it's about 20% more expensive versus the 37% more expensive. But what they don't have over there, if I remember correctly, they don't have a Woodland equivalent plug-in hybrid. They don't have an equivalent for the SE trim either. So what we have is Toyota lowering the barrier of entry so much for their plug-in hybrids and making them far more competitive than I thought they were going to be. All right, so I want to also put in the price of some other models here. So here are the 4 trim levels of the RAV4, and then I have some competitors within Toyota's lineup, and then the Tesla Model Y. Because there are so few plug-in, the Korean have some plug-in hybrids, but they're old and they're going to be replaced by e-revs in the near future. I mean, the Mitsubishi Outlander, but the RAV4's head and tail is better than a Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid for now, about the same price or less. So I'm just looking up competitors. The Koreans won't have an e-rev for a while. Their current plug-in hybrids are not competitive and way too expensive, and the performance is not good. All right, Ford Escape has been discontinued, so there's really nothing to compete against the RAV4 plug-in hybrid from a plug-in hybrid perspective. Okay, so I have to look at fully electric models because those are the only ones that kind of can line up in terms of performance, and probably the same sort of philosophy is like, hey, you're going to be plugging your car in, right? So BZ all-wheel drive is $41,450. So here's the thing. This is the XLE trim. Toyota has priced the RAV4 plug-in hybrid SE model exactly within $50 of the entry-level dual-motor all-wheel drive BZ. Now, the all-wheel drive surcharge is $5,000 on the BZ, which it's obnoxious how expensive it is to get all-wheel drive on that model. Now, if I was getting a BZ all-wheel drive, I personally would just be spending the extra $4,000 and getting the wagon, the BZ Woodland, because it's really, really fast. It doesn't have as much range as the BZ, but here we go. Like if you look at the BZ Woodland versus the RAV4 plug-in hybrid Woodland, it's the exact same freaking price. So Toyota's literally saying you can go fully electric with range anxiety, or you can go plug-in hybrid and get, not as good solid acceleration, no, not anywhere close, but sub 6 seconds, 0 to 60, great efficiency, zero range anxiety, and you can do most of your driving on electric. And then you don't have to worry about road trips at all because you can still get 40 miles per gallon when you run out of electric. So Toyota's their multi-pathway approach right now is it seems like they've already figured out the pricing and this strategy. They've lowered the prices of their EVs while making them a lot better with this recent refresh and overhaul of the BZ lineup. Okay, but also their plug-in hybrids, you have your option. Now, here's the asterisk. I think there's going to be a lot more natural demand for Toyota's plug-in hybrid RAV4 than there is Toyota's EVs. Even though the availability on plug-in hybrids is going to skyrocket with this generation, it's going to take some time. It's not like, hey, May 1st, we're going to just have tons of availability on these plug-in hybrids. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be a slow ramp up of production volume. Not only are they still switching over their old plants in Canada, Kentucky, and Japan from 5th gen RAV4 to the 6th gen RAV4. They will do that as well, rolling out the plug-in hybrid building. The plug-in hybrid right now is currently only built in Japan. How long that will be the case, I'm not sure, because you have to keep in mind there's a North Carolina battery plant that won't have any problems making the battery cells for EVs as well as plug-in hybrids and hybrids. Okay, so the BZ Woodland, there still will be this, there will be an over demand initially, I think, until we can get production out of Canada and Kentucky where they build more RAV4 plug-in hybrids in the coming years. It's not going to happen this year though. So just keep that in mind, that these are still going to be constrained in terms of availability. And as a result, just because the MSRP says this, the dealers will sell it for what the market is demanding. However, we know that the demand for their EV equivalents is nowhere close. And so you'll be able to get these models, the BZ all-wheel drive, even the front-wheel drive, the BZ Woodland, for less than MSRP. Look at the prices I'm seeing on the refreshed BZ right now. $5,000 price drops. Okay, so you're going to be able to get really good deals on the EV equivalents compared to the RAV4 plug-in hybrid. So the pricing is one thing. Yes, Toyota's crushed the pricing, but as we look back, we'll have to see what the market and the availability pans out to be this year. You might be better off just getting an electric equivalent, or again, you don't need to get the plug-in hybrid. Yes, it's faster, and yes, you have the flexibility, and yes, it's quieter, and it feels more solidly built. Like, it's a better car. But you're going to be paying $6,800 versus a front-wheel drive SE hybrid to get the plug-in hybrid all-wheel drive SE. You'll be paying almost $6,000 for an XSE plug-in over the XSE hybrid. And the Woodland costs $5,400 more for the plug-in versus the standard model. You won't ever, unless you rack up hundreds of thousands of miles, you won't ever be able to recoup the cost in gas, okay? Because the standard RAV4s are 40 miles per gallon, easy. Okay, I think I got 46 on the Woodland. It provides a totally different experience, a more flexible experience. You won't ever be stopping at the gas station with a plug-in hybrid, assuming you're plugging it in. If you're not plugging it in, why get it? In my opinion, you're just wasting your money. That's the thing. Is it really worth $5,000 to $6,000, almost $7,000 more than the non-plug-in hybrid versions? All right, let's get into Tesla Model Y as well. Yes, you'll have the opportunity to buy the BZs for less than MSRP, way less than a Model Y dual motor. The Model Y dual motor is going to be faster than this RAV4 plug-in hybrid, but I think, there's a lot of fallout from Tesla, not only in the United States, it's happening in Europe. Chinese sales are probably faltering as well because, BYD is not even doing well in China. You kind of it's like buying a software product. You're buying into the Apple ecosystem at that point, and that comes with its pros and cons. And then a lot of people are politically turned off with Tesla right now as well. So Tesla, you're going to see a lot of defectors from Tesla get into this smorgasbord of options from Toyota's plug-in hybrid RAV4 as well as the BZ all-wheel drive and the BZ Woodland, and Subaru could benefit as well. Subaru doesn't have plug-in hybrids, maybe in the future, but Subaru is going to be benefiting from having the Trail Seeker and the Uncharted versions of the CHR and the Solterra. You guys know. So NX. Look how expensive the NX plug-in hybrid is. And let me tell you, it's a fantastic vehicle, but it is nowhere near worth it. This has the old plug-in hybrid system, and you're telling me it's $11,000 more than a GR Sport plug-in hybrid with less range, less power? No way. So Lexus, what they need to do with this refresh on the NX plug-in hybrid, so they need to drastically reduce the barrier of entry. Right now, the barrier of entry is $60,000 to get yourself in an NX plug-in hybrid. And we see these prices go down for the RAV4 year over year. The NX, when it gets updated, the prices are going to have to drop substantially, in my opinion, for them not only to be competitive against the Toyota variant, but also competitive against the German competition who offer a lot of plug-in hybrids. So this is going to have to come down. Let's see here. it shouldn't be more than a $5,000 upgrade for an NX plug-in hybrid over the top of the line RAV4. So if we go back to, that would be, let's say the GR Sport, the top of the line GR Sport versus the NX F Sport model, there shouldn't be a $5,000 difference or more. It should be $5,000 or less, in my opinion, because the GR Sport is going to handle a lot better than even the NX F Sport model plug-in hybrid when it gets refreshed. And who knows? Look at the new ES. The new ES doesn't have any F Sport models anymore. Lexus is going to have some issues here now that the RAV4 plug-in, which shares the same hybrid powertrain as the next gen NX, is so much cheaper. So this is just fun for me to nerd out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And recap here, Toyota has priced the RAV4 plug-in hybrid about $6,000 to $7,000 less than what I was expecting it to be. And the barrier of entry is $3,000 plus less than what it was with the outdated RAV4 previous prime RAV4 plug-in hybrid 2025 model. So it's just they're going for market share here. They want plug-in hybrids to be as tempting and as viable as their electric counterparts, as we see with the pricing here. And it's fantastic to have that sort of option. But again, supply and demand is a whole nother conversation. We can talk MSRP all day, but if the demand is high, and it will be initially, I would say for a couple of years, we could see people buying these things over MSRP, especially with how aggressive Toyota has priced these things. I'm going to shut it down. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more car reviews. I mentioned the Lexus ES in today's video. I'll be driving that late spring, early summer. And then next week, I'm leaving to California to drive the new Kia Telluride, which I'm extraordinary. I'm seeing them on the streets already. They're already for sale, but I'm really excited to drive and give you guys my hands-on impressions of the Kia Telluride. Thank you guys. Catching the next one. Stay tuned for more and have a great day. Peace.